Hello everyone and welcome back to beautiful Istanbul. In today's video we try all sorts of different traditional Turkish cuisine, starting the day off with a very traditional meal, kahvaltı, otherwise known as breakfast. For lunch we head to the local streets to try a banquet of freshly cooked meals, ADANA kebab and KOFTE, and stick around till the end to see us eat kokorec, one of the most interesting and tastiest dishes of them all. We also pay special visits to the Wall of Constantinople, the Grand and the Spice Bazaar. It's a jam-packed day, so come along and join us for the adventure. Okay, so we're starting our day off with a classic Turkish breakfast. So what we have here is a platter of olives, cucumber, tomato and cheese, and then you can see drizzled on top. It looks like they've got some kind of pepper or chili flakes and olive oil. And then over here we have a very typical menemen. So it's got olive oil, as the guy was explaining, and it's egg, tomato, capsicum, and then a Turkish sausage. So this is usually eaten with bread because it's a little bit soggy. And then we've also got some boiled eggs over here. And also it's got some peppers sprinkled on top.
Indeed, and what do we have to drink, Bobby?
Then we have gigantic Turkish teas,
yes.
And then on the side they've given us some sugar cubes, which we probably won't be using.
Yeah, we don't use sugar.
We like the tea here.
Turkish tea is very good, hey baby?
Yes, so Turkish tea they don't serve it with milk, so they traditionally drink black tea here.
And what did I get?
Oh yeah, and Carlos, he got the Turkish coffee.
Yes.
So they serve it in like a small cup.
Coming from Brazil, where we have one of the best coffees in the world, Turkish coffee is great also. It's extremely strong, bitter, just the way a coffee drinker should like, with no sugar of course. Alright, let's try it. I
really want to try the menemen first. We actually come to this restaurant on our first night in Turkey and we ordered the menemen, so it was a really good choice. And this restaurant is very local, as you can see. It's right next to a public hospital here and it's very far away from any tourist attractions.
Yes.
So you won't see any tourists here, and most people here actually speak Turkish. But luckily for us, the owners here spoke English, so we were able to communicate with them this morning.
So he's got
Afiyet olsun.
which means bon appetit.
Thank you.
And the customer service is on part, right?
Yes,
They're very friendly.
They're very hospitable, and I think because they don't see tourists as well, they're very excited to see foreigners.
Yeah. It's a family business.
Give this a try. So you're meant to eat it with the bread, as I said before. I really like how they serve it with the fresh French bread. It tastes so good. And the Turkish sausage, you don't have to order it with sausage, you can also order it with just cheese or even just by itself. So they just gave me this lovely fresh orange juice, and it looks like they've just squeezed it because inside I can see all of the pulp from the orange, so I'll give it a try.
You get all your vitamin C.
Yes,
see?
Wow, it's so fresh. I've seen in Turkey they have fresh juices everywhere, so I think you can get like pomegranate, orange, like whatever fruit you want. And they'll squeeze it right in front of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you next time.
week.
Bye bye. So standing right behind me now is the walls of Constantinople. So for those of you who don't know much about Istanbul, its previous name was Constantinople, and these walls date back to the 4th and 5th centuries, and they are reminiscent of the Roman Empire. It's just so amazing to be here to see that they're still standing after all this time and all of these battles, and it's really just taking my breath away actually. So the walls itself are actually made of limestone and brick, and wow, you can just imagine the time and labor it would have actually taken to build this magnificent structure. One of the very popular neighborhoods to come here in Istanbul is Balat, and the reason for that is because of the beautiful colored houses that you can get all across this street, and the street's name is Kedimet Street. I'll leave the name down here because I'm not sure I can pronounce it correctly. Throughout the whole Balat neighborhood you'll find housing like this, and it's really quite quaint and charming just to walk through the streets. You'll find lots of locals hanging out there washing and just going about their day. and it's just quite a peaceful walk around this hilly neighborhood. So not far away from the Menemen Street is this area here, and there's lots of cafes, so if you want to come and chill out in the area, it's definitely a nice place to do so.
Neler getirdim neler?
So after we went through those markets, we've stopped through at this very local looking restaurant, and we ordered the ADANA kebab, which is kind of like a traditional kebab, and then I think it has some spices inside, and then we ordered the kofte, which is like a traditional meatball here, and then we ordered the Coban salad, which is made up of, it's got cucumber, tomato and onions, and it looks like she's put some lemon and olive oil on top, and then they also give us a big basket of fresh bread, and we ordered some ayran, which is yogurt. It's like plain yogurt, and we find it's quite popular here in Turkey to drink yogurt with any meal.
Is it like watered down yogurt, baby?
A little bit. It's kind of got a little bit of a sour taste, but we quite enjoy that because it means that there's no sugar added.
Yeah,
so,
it's delish.
It's really delicious. Yeah. So I'm going to dig in and try the kebab first.
Alright.
And it's served with, you can see they've got some rice underneath, and then on the side there's like a little cabbage sort of onion salad and tomatoes. So it looks really tasty. You can really taste the spices in the kebab. It's kind of like a chewy kind of meat. And then they've got the nice little fresh salad here on the side.
Salad, as they say here.
So this is kofte, and it's meatball, as I said
Meatballs.
before.
Ah.
And it's also served on rice, and then it's got capsicums lining the dish with tomato and again another cabbage salad.
Mexicans?
This meat's got a sort of different texture. Not so many spices in this one. And then I don't know what's inside the rice. Maybe it's some kind of bean or something.
Some of the spices.
It's called Coban salad.
Coban
And it
salad.
looks really fresh. Like, I'm wondering if the ingredients all come from the market that we just walked through.
Yeah, the gigantic farmer's
The
market.
fruit and veggies there look super fresh. Much better than what you could find at any supermarket.
Indeed. Very colorful, eh, baby?
Yeah. It's kind of, it's weird for me because usually like yogurt is a breakfast thing, but here in Turkey it's like a every meal kind of thing. So
Like India, right?
yeah, I guess so. So we just finished eating at that restaurant, and what do you have to say about it, Carlos?
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super fresh. It was like
It
going
was.
to like an auntie's, you know, house, and she cooks
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. It tastes like homemade cooking.
Indeed, it really did.
Yeah, you
Everything
can really
was
taste
well
the difference.
seasoned. Lots
Yeah.
of lemon, onions, garlic.
It had a very fresh taste to it. You can tell it comes straight from the market. It was just so good. And the neighborhood around here is very vibrant. Like you'll see so many locals and just people are doing their groceries and shopping. So we have just made it to the Spice Bazaar, and here you'll find many different types of spices, Turkish delights, they sell teas, and just many other souvenir kind of things. You can get ceramics. And apparently this place is better to visit than the Grand Bazaar because it's a little bit less touristy, but I've noticed that there's still quite a lot of tourists here and they still approach you as though you're a tourist. But apparently also locals shop here for their spices as well, and it's just a really interesting place to come and see a bit of Turkey's culture. And the Spice Bazaar itself is actually inside this really lovely building. As you can see, the ceilings are decorated so nicely, and there's so many people here, but it's quite fun to walk your way around. So we are at at Grand Bazaar now, which was only about 10 minutes walk away from the Spice Bazaar, and I must say it's a lot bigger here, so I can understand why it's called the Grand Bazaar. And you'll see that the ceilings are so beautiful. They look like they're painted, and the ceilings are quite high here, and you'll find many different shops. So they sell like lights, clothing, all sorts of souvenirs, and it's just quite a lot of pathways to walk through here.
Kenara çek.
It's okay, it's okay. Okay, so we're at a kokorec place, which is a meat. It's either goat or lamb, and then it's wrapped inside intestines, and then it's cooked on a spitfire. So we've ordered kokorec inside bread, and then kokorec dürüm, which is sort of like a wrap style. And then on the side here, they have some pickled peppers. Well, it's like a liquid pepper. So I guess you could eat it with this. And then we've also ordered some ayran, which is a yogurt drink. So this is the kokorec and bread, and I think they've got some tomato, and there's some herbs, and there's some spices mixed in with the meat as well. So they actually dice up the meat before they put it on the bread. And they've even toasted it looks like French bread, they've even toasted it as well. So yeah.
Big bite.
Wow. I think intestines is not something that sounds appealing to everyone, but actually you wouldn't even think so. The meat is really, really tender because it's been sitting there on the spit roast all day, so you can definitely taste that it's been slow cooking away. Wow. Very impressed actually.
Alright, now what are we trying next?
And this is the same meat again, but it's inside a wrap, so they call it dürüm. Kokorec dürüm.
So anything that's wrapped inside a wrap is
yes,
dürüm?
I think it's, when it's in a wrap form, I think it's called dürüm. So we'll try the wrap. You can see it's really, really juicy and oily in there.
Whoa.
The wrap definitely brings out more of the flavors. I think with the French bread one, it soaks up all the juices, but with the wrap, it doesn't really soak up the juice. So you can definitely taste all of the meat's tenderness much more in the wrap form.
And you can hear the guy in the background just working hard.
He's cutting all the meat.
Exactly.
We couldn't complete a meal here in Turkey without some famous Turkish ice cream, and it is called dondurma. So what makes Turkish ice cream so special is the fact that it is made with orchid flour and mastic, which gives it this thick texture, and if you turn it upside down it won't fall off the cone. Of course mine's frozen, but usually they don't fall off the cone even when
They're very sticky.
Yeah, they're very sticky, thick consistency ice cream. And then so we just bought ours at the local convenience store, and it's got some pistachios on top, and we went with the original flavor with chocolate.
Alright.
I've been eating this every day. So.
Yeah, she has. She even got me into it too. I got my own, and I don't eat sugar.
Yeah.
But I must say they're pretty good.
It's so good. It's not too sweet.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoy the thick consistency because I think it just it lasts longer in your mouth rather than the usual ice cream. It melts quick. To continue watching my Turkey videos, make sure to click on the playlist above.